Long, long ago in Nottingham, England, there was a king named Richard. The king was very wise and very generous to his people. This is why the people really loved him. One day he was traveling to another town nearby, and his boat went missing in the ocean. Days and months went by without him appearing. So, in his absence, King John was placed to be king while he was not there. King John was not like him. He was very mean. He would raise taxes and he would take the money away from the poor. And then this is where the people didn't like him. He would take the money and take it on a carriage and to somewhere else, but he would never make it to the destination because Robin Hood would appear and take the money away, steal it from the carriage, and and equally distribute it to the people from the town. This is why the town really loved Robin Hood because he was very nice to them and would return their money back to them. And then one day, when King John found out that there was a thief stealing his money, but he was actually a thief because he was stealing the money from the people. But Robin Hood was the thief. King John didn't like Robin Hood, so he wanted to arrest him, but it was never possible because Robin Hood had a group of friends named the Merry Men. The Merry Men were the people that got together and hijacked the carriage and they would take the money away. Anyways, one day the king got very mad that he told his sheriff that if he wouldn't get Robin Hood in in jail, he would lose his job. So the sheriff came up with a brilliant idea to make the to make Robin Hood come because he knew that Lady Marian, which was the niece of King John and King Richard, really liked him. So they, because one day Robin Hood was hijacking the carriage. One day a carriage passed by and Robin Hood thought it was a carriage that was full of money, but turns out it was Lady Marian, which was the niece of both King Richard and King John. And it wasn't the money, it was her. And once Robin Hood saw her, he started stuttering because he really liked her. And they fell in love at first sight, both of them. So that's why the sheriff thought it was a good idea to make him come to the castle because he knew he was going to go because of Lady Marian. His game was that whoever threw arrows and shoot them, who was the best at shooting them, would marry Lady Marian, and this is why Robin Hood really wanted to go because he knew that he would win because he was really good at throwing arrows. So he went and then he shot his three arrows and they all landed in the center of the board and then he he took off his hood because he disguised himself so he would not so they wouldn't arrest him before he had a chance to shoot his arrows. So he took his hood off and then the king yelled, "There he is! Arrest him!" And before they put the shield, all the soldiers surround him so he wouldn't go anywhere. But his friend from the Merry Men had a knife on King John's neck and he said, "Let my friend go or you will lose your king." So the king said, "Let him go." So they left and then they left and they were planning, they left to the mountains where they lived, in the forest or something. And then uh, a young boy from the town came running to them because he said that his father was going to get arrested. So they all ran back to the town and they told him they were going to raise his taxes and if they wouldn't pay the taxes, they would all get arrested. So Robin Hood turned himself in because he didn't want the people to all get arrested because his fault. He was because King John was very mad. So he just turned himself in. So he was put into the dungeons and then one of his merry men set the castle on fire. But it didn't burn much because it was made out of bricks. But anyways, the sheriff came down to let King no. The sheriff came down to let Robin Hood out of the cage where he was because he supposedly didn't like King John either, and that the castle was on fire. So he took him up to like the very top, and he told him that it was a trap, and that there was no way he could survive because there was soldiers with arrows already like pointing to him. So he decided to jump, and the sheriff thought he wasn't gonna survive because the water was too high. But he jumped to the water and swam through the canals, and he got out through the in his mountains around where he lived. So he survived. The sheriff didn't think he would survive, but he did survive. And while the castle was put down, like there was no more flames, something happened. King Richard had returned, and everybody was shook. And when the castle was not on flames anymore, all the people went to the castle and started complaining about all the things King John had done to them. And King Richard ordered all of them, the sheriff, King John, and his other friend, to get all arrested because he didn't approve of any of that. And then so King Richard noticed that Robin Hood was man, a brave man, and he wanted to reward him. So he ordered the soldiers to go get him with honor and bring him back to say thank you. But then he noticed that Lady Marian was in love with Robin Hood, and they she wanted to marry him, and he approved of that because he was very a nice person. So they lived happily ever after.